There have been many accounts of Wallace's actions following the Battle of Falkirk. According to some sources, Wallace went to France and defended the French king against the English throughout the French king's own continuing war, while Bishop Lamberton of St. Andrews, who was a strong fan of the Scottish cause, visited the Pope. Wallace was succeeded as joint defender by Robert Bruce and John Comyn, with William de Lamberton, Bishop of St. Andrews, serving as a third neutral guardian in the year 1299 to try to keep the peace between them. Throughout that year, diplomatic pressure from France and Rome persuaded Edward to turn over the put-behind-bars King John to the Pope, and Wallace was dispatched to France to look for the support of Philip IV. He could also have taken a trip to Rome. Edward's more fights in the year 1300 and 1301 led to a ceasefire between the Scots and the English in the year 1302. Stirling Castle, the last significant Scottish fortress, gave up to the English in the year 1303 to 1304, and in the month of February 1304, talks led to the majority of the staying nobles doing tribute to Edward and the Scots all but giving up. Robert Bruce and William Lamberton might have formed a concealed alliance at this moment, with the objective of putting Bruce on the Scottish throne and continuing the war. Lamberton, on the other hand, came from a family connected to the Balliol Comyn party, and his true obligations doubt. After Wallace's capture and execution in the year 1305, Scotland seemed finally overcome, and the insurrection went away for a time. Bruce quarreled with and killed John Comyn in Greyfriars Kirk in Dumfries on February the 10th, 1306, throughout a conference between Bruce and Comyn, the two enduring prospects for the Scottish crown. The insurgents emerged once again at this moment. It seems that Comyn had broken their deal by notifying King Edward about Bruce's strategies to end up being king. The plan was that one of the two complainants would relinquish his claim to the Scottish throne in exchange for properties and support from the other. By giving up Bruce to the English, Comyn appears to have wished to get both the territories and the throne. Bruce and his company caught a messenger carrying documents from Comyn to Edward, obviously implicating Comyn. The Scottish prelates and nobles rallied behind Bruce, and he was anointed King of Scots at Scone less than 5 weeks after the killing at Dumfries. Then he launched a new project to recover his empire. He was expelled from the Scottish mainland as a hooligan after being beaten in the Battle of Methven, as Edward I announced that his followers would be given no quarter. In 1307, Bruce went back to the mainland. King Robert's armies went on to enhance, helped in part by Edward I's death in the month of July 1307. The English went on to lose terrain in their supremacy of the nation after the Battle of Loudon Hill, the Battle of Brander Pass, and the captures of Roxburgh Castle and Edinburgh Castle. The Battle of Bannockburn, combated in the year 1314, was a turning point in the dispute. In April 1318, the Scots finished the expulsion of the English by retaking Berwick-upon-Tweed, then a Scottish city. A group of Scottish lords resolved the Statement of Arbroath to the Pope in the year 1320, announcing Scottish independence from England. The nobles, clergy, and Robert I also sent out 2 comparable statements. In 1324, Thomas Randolph, Earl of Moray, was dispatched to Avignon to meet the Pope personally. Randolph succeeded in persuading Pope John to recognize Robert as King of Scots, which was a great diplomatic accomplishment. Edward II of England was ousted and killed in the year 1327, and his child Edward III of England took control of the crown. Edward III was required to sign the Treaty of Edinburgh-Northampton on the 1st of May 1328 after repeated invasions of the north of England by Robert or his war chiefs, culminating in the Battle of Stanhope Park, in which the English king was almost taken, that acknowledged Scotland's independence and King Robert the Bruce's reign. To further seal the peace, Robert's child and inheritor David wed Edward III's sister,